Hello and welcome to Exceptional Family TV. In part 1 of the Cochran family story, I talked with Matt and Tamara about the birth of their little girl, Abby, and what life was like on their journey into the unknown. In part 2, we continue our conversation, talking about the trials and struggles they went through, and how they've come to deal being without answers. So you got her back home, she's stable, she's doing all right.
We're adjusting as best as we can, and I was over at a neighbor's house and I was holding her and her leg just kicked. And I'm like, what was that? And boom, her leg kicked again, and every 5 minutes her leg would kick. So I called her neurologist and we brought her in and they did an EEG on her. And he says, I hate to tell you this, Tamara, he's all, but her brain is just a mess. There is no rhyme or reason. It is all over the place. It's total chaos. And he's all, I'm diagnosing your daughter with West syndrome. And I was like, what is that? Well, he goes, it's infantile spasms. And he goes, because if she's had the bilateral stroke, that's what's kicked it off. And she would stop breathing and turn blue. And she'd kind of kick out of it. And then she'd start to vomit. And then she had jackknife seizures where her whole body just went, straight out like this, boom, like this. And she would scream out in pain. From the time that she got diagnosed, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And those were, I think, for me, the hardest. Yeah, here we go again. Well, those were the hardest times because, just holding her and singing "Jesus Loves Me," and rocking with her and watching her turn blue and she can't breathe. And I'm like, come on, Abby, come out of it, come out of it. And then finally she would, and then she would be vomiting, and I'd have to get the suction machine and try to suction her quick so she wouldn't choke. And I was so angry at God, just like, how could you do this? How could you allow this to happen to her? She hasn't done anything, and why is she going through all of this? So I just really had to submit to that and just ask the Lord to help me to digest what that means for us in our life, and that to try to see the bigger picture that she was created for His glory, and there's a reason for her life.
Faith has really helped you guys out a lot. Now, 5 years through all the tests, all the surgeries, the trips to the hospital, the doctor's appointments, and all of that, there's still no diagnosis for her condition. What is that like for a parent not to have any answers?
You don't have peace with that overnight. I think through the 5 years, I don't know what I don't know. I think in the beginning you want doctors to, okay, give me an answer, tell me I'll go look it up on the internet and we'll live out our lives and I'll get all my step 1, step 2, this is how it's going to look. That has to be a humbling profession because I think you're dealing with something so complex. And I would get frustrated early on because we'd go and they would say, we're going to run some tests. And I'm, okay, that's great. If the test comes back positive, can you fix that? Well, no, probably not. We don't know what we don't know. I'm at peace with that. Abby's going to live out her days just like the rest of us are. We don't know what her future holds. We know she's got West syndrome and there's no pill that she can take to fix it. There's nothing that she can really do that we can do, or a doctor we can take her to where he can say, this is what she has and I can fix it.
She is the way that she is, and she's beautiful the way that she is. I love her just the way she is. I wouldn't change anything about her.
She's perfect for our family.
What is life like for your family now?
Changed.
Yeah, it's changed. You go and you see families out to dinner and that's very difficult for us to do.
My heart it breaks for my boys because we don't have that normal family where we can just throw the kids in the car and go, and it hurts because I don't like this new normal. You get used to it, but then she gets bigger and things get harder because she gets heavier and, there's more equipment and there's more things. I just have to take today for today because we're not promised tomorrow.
Is there anything else that you would want to impart on other families out there who might be going through the same thing with an undiagnosed child?
Don't ever just not look at it like it's a mistake or this child is a mistake, because they're not. You may have a long journey ahead of you, a very heavy, tiresome, weary road, but don't give up.
We are the Cochrans, and we are an exceptional family.